And so when you are asked a question and you exaggerate to this extent, well, I'm going to make a video and explain to you what's actually happening. And yeah, I'm not a neuroscientist. I don't have a PhD, but I do have a master's in exercise physiology, and I do understand this more than Andrew Huberman. Coach Greg, and sorry to break it to you, but Andrew Huberman got it wrong. I know, he never makes mistakes, right? Well, he was asked the question, why could Michael Phelps eat so much? His response, off the cuff, he didn't think about this, he didn't carefully prepare an answer, was, it's nothing to do with how many calories he's burning while swimming. It's because of the heat transfer from the body to the water. And so because Michael Phelps swam all the time, he was able to eat so much so that people made videos about it. But listen, Michael Phelps said it was a joke. He never actually consumed 12,000 calories a day. Michael Phelps said it was a myth that he ate 12,000 calories a day. It's just not true, Phelps wrote in No Limits, one of his autobiographies. Maybe 8 to 10,000 calories per day. Do you really think he knew how to accurately track calories? 8 to 10,000 calories probably means he ate 10,000 once. Most of the time, perhaps it was 8,000. Or perhaps he rounded up. Perhaps it was 6,000, rounded up to 8. All too often, people exaggerate how much they actually eat. Guys like The Rock, other famous people, they don't know how much they're eating. It's not like they're tracking every single morsel of food that goes in their mouth. They just spout out a big number. I ate 10, 20,000 calories. Really? And so think of it. He'd go to a restaurant, says, I'd start with 3 sandwiches of fried eggs, cheese, lettuce, tomatoes, fried onions, mayonnaise, add an omelet, bowl of grits, 3 slices of French toast, powdered sugar, wash it down with 3 chocolate chip pancakes. Do you actually think he sat there and tracked all those calories at a restaurant? How would he know how much they are? And so he didn't actually eat 12,000 calories. He said he was told perhaps 8 to 10,000 calories. But even as such, how do we know how much he actually ate? But regardless of that, Andrew Huberman goes out and spreads misinformation. 3.2 million people watch it to this point, and the comments are, wow, no wonder I could eat so much. No wonder swimming did this to me. And so if you watch this for the first time, you're thinking, I'm on the wrong sport. I'm going to give up running, cycling, all that. I'm going to switch to swimming because swimming burns far more calories. And so if you're a swimmer, you're going to be shredded. And so how many of you out there studied this in university?
Coach Greg.
How many of you were a competitive swimmer?
Coach Greg.
How many of you did triathlons?
Coach Greg.
And so who could speak out on this?
Coach Greg.
And so when you are asked a question and you exaggerate to this extent, well, I'm going to make a video and explain to you what's actually happening. And yeah, I'm not a neuroscientist. I don't have a PhD. But I do have a master's in exercise physiology, and I do understand this more than Andrew Huberman.
The reason he needed to eat so much is not that he was burning that many calories in pure movement.
Michael Phelps was swimming multiple times every single day, 365 days a year. Swimming sometimes close to 7 or 8 miles. He has the record for the most gold medals, winning multiple Olympics in several different disciplines. He's swimming countless miles each and every day, faster than last time. He has tremendous VO2 max, and he's able to keep pushing the power in the water for several hours each and every day. But it's not so much how many calories he was burning through movement. It was stated he was swimming 80 kilometers a week. That's swimming. Even running 80 kilometers, that's a lot. Guys swimming 80 kilometers. Oh, how could he burn so many calories? The resistance of water, 10 to 15 times the resistance of air. And so if you're swimming 80 kilometers, a total body exercise, arms, legs, everything, imagine how much you'd have to run in comparison to burn the same number of calories.
It's that when you do exercise in water, even if it's warm water, the heat transfer in water is greater, so you burn far more calories.
No, a little bit more. Sure, you burn a little bit more calories from the heat transfer. And so if you're swimming in cold water, of which they are not, and you're shivering, you're going to burn more calories because you're moving more. You go in the cold water, you shiver, you burn calories. If you're swimming in warm water, of which he says in this video, even if it's warm water, you're burning far more calories, it's not true. Raise your hand if you just got back from Mexico. Not many of you. Few of you, great. It was a great time. How many of you lost a bunch of weight from floating around the water all week? Because of heat transfer. You spend the majority of the time in the pools, hot tub, the ocean. Lots of heat transfer. Are you now shredded? You're not? You gained weight? Shocking. Well, Andrew Huberman, he said you burn off a ton of calories. And so why are you shredded? Because it's not true. If it sounds too good to be true, it often is. And so if you don't actually believe me, well, let's look at a study on calories burned cold and hot water. And so we had two groups of people cycling in the water. Think of that. One 68 degrees Fahrenheit, the other 91. And total calories burned 517 in the colder water and 505 in the warm water. Wow, 12 calories different. But Andrew Huberman says way more calories. Couldn't have been that Michael Phelps was actually burning calories through movement. And so the next time you think that sitting around in your bubble bath is going to burn a bunch of calories, oh, I'm on a diet. Rather than go do cardio, I know, let's watch Netflix and chill in the hot tub. We'll burn a ton of calories. Or no, let's turn down the thermostat 68 degrees and let's freeze our way to a shredded brand new physique. It's not going to work. Oh, and those who aren't exercising sit in the water? 123 calories. And so is it really the temperature or is it the movement? And so there are a zero studies supporting what Andrew Huberman said. He's just talking off the cuff. Remember, I studied this. I'm not a neuroscientist. I have my master's in exercise physiology, literally studying the body. And I was a swimmer and I studied this exact topic in detail. I remember 26 years ago, I studied this. Oh, it was so long ago. It's not like the world's changed. We don't suddenly burn more calories through heat dissipation than we did 26 years ago. And so as much as we like the guy and as smart as he is, on this particular topic, he chose the wrong word. And think of it, he's in interviews time after time, day after day. You're bound to make a mistake, to slip up, to say the wrong word. Far more calories because of the heat transfer. It's not the case. How many calories or energy expended is a measure of the energy output you're putting into the activity you're doing. When you're larger, going at higher intensities, moving more weight, you burn more calories. And so consider this analogy. I love to ride bikes. I'm racing bikes. And when I'm really hot, I can't ride as hard. If I have a fan blowing on me, I'm able to cool myself off better. When I'm cooler, I can go harder. And when I'm riding harder, faster, putting out more watts, I burn more calories. When I was in Mexico, my fans that I bring with me, well, one wasn't charged. I was putting out the exact same power output, but I was finding it very difficult. It was hard to go at that intensity. Why? Because I was overheating. And when you overheat, you can't exercise as hard. And so rather than thinking, oh, I need to sweat more, I need to wear several layers of clothing when I'm exercising, think the opposite. The more you can cool yourself off, the more calories you will actually burn. Why? Because you're able to go harder and longer. And yes, I get it. You can practice cold water plunges. You can go in ice baths. You can shiver. It can increase dopamine, help recovery, and so on. But it's not going to burn a significant number of calories. It's not a magic cure for weight loss. And so all the comments saying, well, no wonder I could eat so much. I can eat whatever I want. No, you couldn't. You were a kid. You used to swim when you were a kid. You went and swam all day and you could eat a lot for lunch. So what? Of course you could. Now you're older. You're not swimming for 3 hours, and so you don't eat as much. It's not the fact that you were swimming. You could have done any activity, anything physical for 3 hours, and you're going to be hungrier. Swam for 6 years. I ate like a horse and was still skinny the whole time. I would just go home after practice and devour anything I could get my hands on. I was a triathlete for 13 years. And whether it was running, swimming, or biking, I could get home after practice and eat the entire box of cow chocula. Why? Because I burned a shit ton of calories. Of course I could eat a lot. And so when I was doing cardio 20 hours a week, 20, not 2, 20. That's about 3 hours cardio a day and lifting weights, competing in bodybuilding. That's right, I started doing triathlons at 13. I did it for 13 straight years. I was a competitive swimmer. I was running and cycling. I could eat 5,000 plus calories a day, every day. And so regardless of the activity, It's the movement, the calories you're burning through movement that matters more than the dissipation of heat. The transfer of heat in water is not the holy grail, the secret to being lean. And in fact, it is quite the opposite. If you actually look at research, you study athletes, and you compare swimmers to cyclists and runners, the swimmers have the most body fat. Swimmers have more body fat than cyclists and or runners. And so swimming were actually that good at making you lean. It burns so many more calories. Why would the swimmers have the most body fat? Doesn't make sense now, does it? And so what you'll actually see is that most swimmers carry more body fat. The act of swimming, especially in a cold environment, you're going to want to store more body fat. And so what happens is subconsciously, you're going to eat more. I remember growing up in the hood, we used to go swimming at the community pools, and afterwards we'd be so hungry, we'd go to the free lunch summer programs at the churches, get like 3 bag lunches apiece. You were growing up, you were a kid, you were playing all the time, moving around, you had a faster metabolism. Then you got old, you sat down and watched Coach Greg and chill. You stopped being physical. And so kids, they're always on the move. They're running around. At least they were when I was a kid. And they burn a ton of calories. Not because the water allowed for heat transfer, but because we were moving all friggin' day. I spent 7 years swimming competitively, and this gets far more pronounced when the water is 60 degrees. If it was really that simple, trust me, I would make the video and I'd say, listen, people, swimming is the answer. Even if you swim slow, as long as it's in water, especially cold water, you're burning double, triple the calories. And so if you want to get lean, get into the pool. Start doing aquasize. But the truth is, you're not going to burn more calories in aquasize than you are going to do aerobics on land. And yes, there's more resistance in the water. It's great for your joints and it's an amazing activity, but it doesn't mean you're suddenly going to burn double the calories and be able to eat way more. It doesn't work like that. And so my advice, do the activity that you love, that you enjoy, and do it for the fun of it. The calories you burn, that's not as important as enjoying the activity, because if you enjoy it, you will keep doing it. Looking to improve your cardiovascular performance, you want to be a better athlete, burn more calories, go at a faster pace, get GO2 max. It's been shown to improve cardiovascular endurance, burn more calories, and it will actually work. Unlike just going in the water with more heat transfer, it's going to help you to be able to go faster than last time, make you a better athlete, comparable to, for example, Cardarine or GW501516. And so enter code Greg, 10% off, click the link in the description. Highly and strongly recommend this. It's my favorite supplement right now. Don't forget, we have pre-workouts to give you more energy. We also have Acti Builder, cookbooks, training books, coaching plans by me and my team. Subscribe, click the bell button, like this video if you liked it, watch one of the bloops, follow me on Instagram, Greg Doucette IB Pro, and until next time, I am out.